Hello and welcome to another episode of BLG News for the week of February the 10th. I'm Marcus Boston. We have some good stories this week for you guys, and the first one will deal with the storm that is supposed to reach us tomorrow. Renee and I had originally planned on going out of town, driving down to Georgia, road trip guys, to Georgia. But now that has been canceled because of the storm for tomorrow. So it's supposed to be pretty bad. And as of the shooting of this video, is it the court system in Montgomery County, Renee? Yep. The court system in Montgomery County has already closed down for tomorrow, so there's probably going to be other closings throughout the evening. So for tomorrow, if you got to be out and about, just be careful because the weather is not supposed to be too good tomorrow. The second story that I would like to talk to you guys about deals with a story that's out of St. Louis, and this is very interesting. If you've been driving for a while, chances are you have seen other drivers maybe flick their lights to kind of warn other drivers that, hey, there's a police checkpoint, either they have a speed trap or a DUI checkpoint or something down the road. So you've probably seen this happen. Well, this was a big issue, and just last week, was it last week or this week, Renee? Last week. Yeah, last week there was a ruling in federal court that dealt with this issue, and the issue was whether you can flick your lights, essentially, to warn other drivers of a police presence down the road. This federal court pretty much said that you can do that. You can do it. It's protected by the First Amendment. Now, this case is out of St. Louis, so it's dealing with that region. But I thought that was a very, very interesting court ruling because we see it all the time. And in some places, well, evidently in that area, in the St. Louis area, it was against the law. So, but evidently right now, this appeals court, not appeals, but this federal court has pretty much said that, hey, you can do it. It's protected by the First Amendment. The third and last story that I want to talk about this week in the news deals with the murder case that's going on in Florida right now in Jacksonville. Last week we got a lot of emails about this, and well, Marcus, what is your opinion on it? Renee, what's your opinion on this case out of Jacksonville? And if you're not familiar with it, it's the Michael Dunn case where Dunn is charged with murder. And I think last week I said, what, second-degree murder, Renee? So I believe is what I said, but it's first-degree murder. He's charged with premeditated murder and the killing of Jordan Davis in Florida. So that case has gotten a lot of attention, and my personal feelings on this as an attorney who's handled criminal defense cases, Renee and I have had an opportunity to try before we started medical malpractice cases, but to try criminal defense cases, specifically self-defense cases. And in a lot of instances, it really just boils down to whether the jury thinks what the defendant did under those circumstances were reasonable. And it's going to be up to those individuals on that jury to decide that. Now, it really doesn't matter what you or I or what we may think. It's going to be up to these individuals that are on the jury, and it's going to be their job to make this type of determination. So those are my personal thoughts on it. I'm not going to really go one way or the other because, number one, I have not been following that case. And number two, most importantly, I'm not on the jury. I don't see all of the evidence. I don't see what's presented. Only thing I can see is what they show on TV, but that's not always the full story. So I will just stand by and wait and see what the jury does with this case. And I would suggest that was probably the same thing that you should do too. Just wait and let the jury do their job on it. If you have a story that you would like us to talk about in our weekly BLG news update, send us an email to info@bostonlawllc.com. Again, that's info@bostonlawllc.com. And if it's something that we feel that we can work in to our weekly news updates, we will try to do it. Again, I'm Marcus Boston. Got my wife on the other side of the camera, Renee Boston. And we will see you next week, guys. Take care and be safe tomorrow. Bye-bye.